As you mentioned, there are a lot of events happening, and because I networked in certain at certain events, let's say, I found out about Women in Agile Europe. And a few months ago, there was a call for speakers. And as I'm super passionate about agility and also about mentorship, I applied with two proposals. One was about the role of the Scrum Master and how it is misunderstood. Like we have certain stuff that are perceived by the public in a certain way, which is not necessarily true. And the second one was about mentoring in general. And the one about agility wasn't accepted, but the one about mentorship was. So on the 14th of November, I'll be speaking in Eindhoven, the Netherlands, about this subject. And I'm super excited about that. And if your followers would like to join me, I have a discount code, which please post in the description. And this is available until the 30 September. And you get 10% off your tickets.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We're doing one of these discussions again. We're going back and forth towards from experimental videos toward these discussions whenever we have an interesting guest. And well, today our guest is Karla. Um, Actually, the best way to do this is Karla. Do you mind introducing yourself?
Sure, no problem. So, hello everyone, my name is Karla. I'm an agile consultant, also a coach and a mentor in several contexts. And that's the high level description.
How did you end up here where you are now? So, walk us through your professional career. How did you start? What choices you made? What obstacles you may have faced?
So, firstly, I have a technical background. I finished my master's in automation at the Technical University. I worked for 5 years as a quality assurance engineer in big companies. And I just realized at some point that coding is not for me anymore. So then slowly I started taking on some responsibilities of a scrum master, of a project manager, or whatever was called in that context. And then at some point the chance came, and I just started to be a contractor and find my own projects. And I think it's been 4 years since I'm doing this as a solopreneur.
All right. And how do you find the transition or the difference between working as an employee and working as a solopreneur?
I think that as an employee, you already have a good base, meaning that you already have projects, you already have the backbone, meaning you don't have to think about certain aspects of a company, right? So, and you have some sort of stability, that's your payment per month and all good. Well, as a solopreneur, things are different. You have to know stuff that are not in your job description at all. So you need to know a bit of accounting, you need to know a bit of marketing, then a bit of PR, then a bit of networking, and you need to go to a lot of events so you meet people and get projects. Also, another thing is you need to put yourself out there constantly, like either on LinkedIn, your website, freelance job sites. It depends on your energy level, I guess. And your income is not constant. It can be very, very high some months, but very low other months. So it's not the same as, it's not as stable as in a company, I guess. But I think this
Yeah.
fits me better. So that's why I'm choosing this lifestyle. So I think that in the companies I didn't have the freedom I have right now. I didn't have the power to make the choices I make now. So now I, besides choosing my projects and people I want to work with, I can also invest my time in mentorship programs and paying it forward to other professionals in the IT world.
I see. So, just so we're clear on this, and if in case anybody gets a little bit confused, when you say solopreneur, it's kind of the solo version of an entrepreneur. So, you work, have a registered company, but where you are the sole employee and employer,
Exactly.
effectively, yeah, one person company.
Exactly. A one woman show.
Yeah, fair enough. So it's kind of is there any difference between this and I guess a regular contractor, or is it very similar? Being a solopreneur versus I guess it's more branding focused, possibly.
I suppose it's just the legal entity with which you work and
I see.
the way you present yourself to your clients. So, before having my registered company, I worked with PFA. I don't know the term in English. So, if you,
Self-employed.
well, yeah, so it's
Yeah.
another legal entity. It didn't stop me and now it I have my own company just because it's better, like, from a tax perspective.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
All right. You mentioned mentorship programs, and I think this is a really interesting topic, especially for our followers, because a lot of the content that we're uploading mostly has, well, actually, everything has to do with learning, and it's our kind of gift almost to to our listeners and watchers. Do you want to get into a few more details about those mentorship programs, what they mean, maybe even how one can get into them, or even as a mentor or as a trainee? And just let's start from here. Let's see where this is going.
Okay, sure. So I've been part of mentorship programs in the past 3 or 4 years, I think. So since I've started working on my own, and I there are several programs for startups, first of all, and there are some experts contracted to hold trainings and stuff like that, or offer one-on-one consultancy on different topics. And I've been part of four or five. And I think 2 years ago, I started being one of the coordinators of the WeMentoring program by Women in Tech Cluj. And this is a program for women in IT mostly, but also men are welcome. And usually in each program, what happens is that there is a call for mentors, and then there is a call for mentees. And based on the skills, they are matched and they start working together. There are other platforms as well. There are a growth mentor, for example. You can sign up as either a mentor or a mentee. There are several programs in which you can sign up, and yeah.
So, how does a mentorship program work? Is there a predefined set of meetups, or do you discuss this with the mentee? Do you assess their level and then decide, oh, we may just need to meet 5 times rather than 10 times or something?
So in the We Mentoring program, we tell everyone what we recommend based on the past experiences, and we leave it up to them. So each mentorship relationship is different. So I think it's very important for the I don't know, frequency, way of working, and anything related to that particular relationship to be discussed between the mentor and the mentee, preferably in the first session. So some ground rules, some guidelines. Of course, all I think all mentorship programs I've been in, they have their own guidelines, like the best practices and what they saw worked in the past, but they are neither of them are telling you, hey, you must do like this. So the most important thing with the mentorship programs is that the mentee gets the value they came in for.
Mm. And you mentioned that your part, or the mentorship program is part of, or you went through, sorry, Women in Tech Cluj. Can you tell us a little bit about that, about particularly Women in Tech, the organization, and how is it structured? What type of support does it offer? Any potential women that are interested in joining the tech? I find that very interesting. It seems a little bit of a different, almost like a different path that men and women tend to take when being, or being, thinking about joining the tech industry.
Yeah, unfortunately, I see that too. And I think that's why we have so many NGOs called Woman in Tech or Woman in Agile, Woman in Tech and Agile, which is again a different thing. We have here in Cluj Woman in Tech Cluj, and I'm part of that. So I think it's needed because I saw that usually women are not feeling as empowered to go for what they want for like professionally. I think that when, especially um, in cases in which they transition from a technical role to a leadership role, for example. And also, it seems like there is not too much support offered in their own companies, so then they need to look for alternatives.
If you are open to share maybe some of the experiences, what would you say are the biggest obstacles or the most obvious obstacles for any woman that wants to start her career in tech, even if she switches jobs or just starts from scratch from uni?
I think it's like a cultural thing, like maybe our age says something, like we are raised by people that were part of communism, where, it was a male dominated culture, let's say. And I think that is now given to our generation in a way, and it's a fear maybe or something like that to get into tech, because like it's a male dominated field. There are programs that are, trying to include women and stuff like that, but uh, still the mentality is problematic and it needs more work. So I think what we can do here is like to encourage women to apply into any job they want and to offer them support, the necessary support. And this might mean encouragement, this might mean technical preparation. It depends on the particular need of the person.
All right. And in terms of mentees, have you noticed, for example, yourself, you're a professional with about 4 years experience in mentorship. Did you notice a pattern of more women gravitating towards this need in mentorship?
Yes, yes. Like I think that most of my mentees were women. So either in these organized settings that I previously mentioned, but also I get messages on LinkedIn that, hey, can you mentor me? This is the problem I have. And it's always woman, or 95% they are women. So I think that, or I'm trying to be a role model by being a solopreneur and putting myself out there. And also, like, I want this woman to come to me because I will always give them the support they need.
Yeah. I'm curious about that. If it's in my experience, it might be kind of one of those psychological differences that the most people that come to you for mentorship are women that do you notice a difference in kind of the way that men and women approach, especially when it comes to asking for help?
Oh,
Uh,
yes, that's an amazing question. Oh my God. Yes, there is a big difference. So, like, when men are asking me for help, for mentorship, um, they are very pushy in a way. So I had a person that messaged me on all channels. Like, I wasn't available for a few days, and I literally had a message from him on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on my email, and on WhatsApp in like 3 days, I think. And
Wow.
it just bugged me for some reason because I was on vacation for once, and it was just weird, and I refused to work with this person. And this is a note I want to make. It's okay to close any mentorship relationship at any point, even if it didn't begin. So it's very important to have the right synergy with the other person.
yeah.
And now to get back to your question, usually women are messaging me like almost like apologizing in a way, like sorry to bother you. Can you help me with this? I have this problem, and it seems a bit unsure. So like for the man, I think it's very like sure on themselves and let's do this. I'm entitled to this, and the woman that messaged me are a bit unsure and considerate of my time, and like, I'm sorry to bother you, can you please, if it doesn't work for you, it's fine, let's find another time to discuss. So they are, yeah, I think this is a big issue we have, to be honest. Like, I would like woman to be more courageous in asking for, hey, I don't know this answer to my question, can you please help me? I mean, it's fine.
I see. Interesting, but it's uh, I find it very strange that even when asking for, you say, even when asking for help, effectively, that men are, you say, or the men that you interacted with are kind of self assured, and they kind of act like they're entitled for it. Uh, that's a very interesting and strange kind of, I guess, dynamic. When they do ask for help, is it specific, or do they, because you said most mentees come to you with saying, I need help in this specific area. Is it, do you notice a difference there in terms of how specific men are and what they ask help for versus what women do? Or I'm trying to kind of, I don't know, I'm trying to understand where that self-assurance might come from, because I don't, I can't, I'm you know I'm sure that I've met people that are self assured when they don't, when they should not be, and I'm just trying to understand how, I guess, or how the way they think.
I honestly don't know, to be honest. Like, I don't know. I can't read minds. This is just my experience, and I'm sure that there are other mentors that have better experiences than me on this. So I think it just depends on the person, and also the cultural difference. It's a very important aspect. I worked for about 2 years with South Africa, a South African company, and this company basically had a program which calculates one score, and this score is based on how many employees you have that are from minorities, like
Right.
black people and also women, and they calculate the score. And if you are as a company in a certain threshold, then you get some funding or not from the state. So that's
Okay.
the main
Right.
idea with this product. And I also coached some of the people there, and they were men, most of them. And the culture is totally different from the example I said previously. So I keep working with one of the people for 3 years already, and uh, I don't know, like, his evolution is mind blowing. Like, and always he is not the entitled person that I described before. He is very, I don't know, like, he is also sure on himself, but he's also like, thank you for making the time for me. This is what I've been up to. What do you think? How should we proceed? So it's like more of a collaboration.
Yeah.
More
Yeah,
respectful.
more respectful.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I think I also see where Vlad was coming from with his questions, because we also did have quite a few folks that we ended up supporting in their IT careers. And to be honest, we don't have such a huge pool of mentees, but we actually ran into some really respectful people. And I think Vlad was trying to understand where they were coming from, which viewpoint or what expectations they would have had from you, if that respect was gone to begin with. One question which I do have, and I'm actually curious, and this is for the followers as well. Do you or do your mentees prefer online or in-person mentorship?
Most of the time, they prefer online mentorship. Uh, and I think this is because of time. And now the culture kind of changed, or the expectations changed regarding your time. So, or one's time. And that's why, for example, I have a booking system, and I just send the link to my mentees, and they can book it there directly, like a session with me. So, but I think 90% of mentorship sessions I have are online.
All right. Please send us some links, and we're gonna post them somewhere in the comment section. By the way, anyone looking at this, feel free to through the comment section, because there's gonna be some interesting links.
Yeah. Um, yeah, if you don't mind, I've just kind of picking up on almost like a few points that you've mentioned before, culture and everything else. We have noticed absolutely talking to different people, working myself included, working with different people from different places around the world. But from a mentoring perspective, what would you say are almost like the prerequisites of being successfully mentored or kind of advancing your career through a mentorship program, be it cultural or be it just personality wise? What exactly are you looking for in the ideal mentee?
I don't think there is an ideal mentee, to be honest, because everyone is different. But I think the most important thing is, regardless of the gender, regardless of the culture, is the willingness to learn. So that doesn't mean they need to have a specific goal, or something very directly said. For example, I want to be a senior developer in 2 years, but like an idea, like I want to figure out where I want to be in 2 years, or how I want my career to look like. And what I noticed is that, like, every mentee will have the phrasing of the goal totally different. Like, for some people, it works to have this structured approach, like maybe the SMART approach you might know about. And others are so creative and so, I don't know, they like to be more spontaneous. And with this type of people, I integrate some coaching techniques, maybe some visualization exercises, and then in, I don't know, 1 or 2 sessions, depends on the person, they get to a place where they gain more clarity. So I think, like, the only thing is for a person to want to learn. And I think here is where most people get stuck. And I think this is something very important for your followers to know, that even if you don't have a very clear goal, reach out to someone, because a mentor, or a good mentor, can help you. I mean, most of us, let's say, are trained in different things, in different, maybe coaching, maybe other techniques that can help you figure out what you want. And most people don't take this step just because they are afraid. that they don't know. But that's the point of having a mentor, having a supportive person to guide you.
Yeah, no, you mentioned one interesting kind of thing there about coaching or different techniques that you have for mentoring. Would you consider coaching almost like a subsection of mentoring? Because coaching is something that a Scrum Master or an Agile coach would also do. Is that different from mentoring?
That's an interesting point because everyone has a different opinion about it, and maybe we can share some resources regarding this in the description. But
Absolutely.
just to explain a bit, so basically, if we think about coaching, like the International Coaching Federation, which is the entity that gives certification, or one of them, and this is the entity by which I'm trained. They define coaching as something that it's a partnership between the coach and the coachee, and you basically work with what you have right now, like your strengths, your values, your um, I don't know, like what you are now to improve your future. So in coaching, you don't give advices, you are just helping the person find their own answers. I see mentoring as different. I see it as a way in which you can share your knowledge, your experience, you can give advice, you can actually help the person with, punctual things that, like, from your past, maybe. And I think that coaching techniques can help you with that, but it's not like a subset, it's like maybe a good pairing, in my case at least.